Good evening, lovely tubers. White Mexican back again for another Market Watch investments video for you guys tonight. There's a plethora of stuff that I'm going to be showcasing for you guys, so I hope you enjoy. Getting things started tonight with Ghost Reaper and Winter Cherries. If you guys have been watching my content for a while, you know I'm an avid fan of the OG Secret Rare First Edition prints of all the Ghost Girls hand traps. Two-pronged attack on this for investment purposes. One, the artwork is unparalleled. All of the Ghost Girls look amazing, original artwork specifically, and they all came in high rarity of secret rare in their original core booster sets. And for the most part, the majority of them kind of influx in outside the meta, so you never really know when they're going to be utilized. And I think that's pretty awesome. And as time goes on, these sets are not getting any younger, they're getting older with age, and they're just going to be more difficult to find. Now, granted, these cards are really popular, and they have been reprinted to hell. A lot of different rarities to these, but the original first edition secrets are always going to hold great value. So getting things started here, Shining Victories, Dondas, Ghost Reaper, and Winter Cherries, which if I'm not mistaken, I believe, well actually no, this wasn't the first one, Ghost Ogre was the first one because Ghost Ogre came out of Cross Souls, which was an older set than Shining Victories. But really amazing artwork. One of my favorite. Ghost Ogre actually is my favorite out of Ghost Girls. Then Reaper probably is my second favorite for artwork purposes. But moving on here, again, you're going to want to go specifically for the first edition prints. I really wouldn't pay much attention to any other versions besides this. And I know that I think it was 2017 Megatins had a secret reprint, which is, pretty cool, but it's never going to carry as much depth and weight and value as the OG print from Shining Victories. So, looks like there's 5+ pages here on the market. We don't get our first edition here until the 4th page, and it's roughly around 8 bones. Pretty much 8 bones or 8 bones here, 8 bones here for lightly played first editions, the first ones we see. And again, only 6 pages. So, this card is increased minorly. I mean, for the longest time, you could get these for like 5 bones all across the board. 5 bones, 5 bones, 4 bones, sometimes even 3. It's obviously at 8+ now, but then again, I think anything under 10 is an immaculate price point for this, because this is just going to continue to go up. This is very much going to be a collector's card on so many different levels, and it's also a playable card. When the meta is right, it's definitely a playable card as well. Next is going to be Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit. Now, there is an ultimate rare print of this, technically as a higher rarity, which looks really, really nice. I personally own, I want to say 1 or 2 copies of the ultimate rare myself. It looks gorgeous, but honestly, player preference is kind of just some white Mexican theory for you guys. I prefer the secret rares. I think the secret rares look even better. The ultimate rares look good, but the secret rares look the best. This one specifically, the artwork, this is my favorite for artwork. They got the katana, she's got the blood gloss demon eyes, she's got the horn, she's got the gray ghost phantom hair, and you have the ghost, actually the ghost's phantom demon looking thing here. And the coloring in this card is just great. I can't talk enough about this. This is such a great card, and it's always been a relatively good priced card, or a good investment, or hold great value, I guess I could say. Starting market price for Unlimiteds alone is a whopping 40 bones to get it kickstarted here. Quickly trickles up to about 45+. There's 5 pages on the market here for TCGP. And the first edition we're going to find is on the 2nd page for 49. Here's 2 for 49. Here's a 2 stack here. And then it goes to 50, and then it goes to about 51, kind of trickles up after that, and then 5 pages available on the market. Here's an Italian one. I love European print cards. They look really, really nice. Anyway, so really great stuff on Ghost Ogre. Next is going to be Ghost Spell and Haunted Mansion. Flames of Destruction. This card has actually seen a little bit more popular, or a little bit more play of late. There's been some people that have been opting to use this, and it's a really good utility. It has 3 different effects, just like I believe Ash Blossom has 3 different effects too, so some really great diversity on that. And again, old school secret rare. Well, Flame Destruction is not old yet, but it will be, and high rarity of secret rare, amazing artwork. starting market price here is going to be around 28 for unlimited. So wow, these have gone up quite a bit. I remember when these were like under, I want to say under 10 for the unlimited for the longest time, and they're almost doubled now, almost to 30 for unlimiteds alone. First edition prints we get here is 34, and then it goes to 36, and then about 38, and it continues to trickle up just under 40 bones. Only 3 pages here available on TCGP, so really interesting price and fluctuation on that. Next is going to be Ghost Sister and Spooky Dogwood. This is actually a censorship. I actually didn't realize this until a couple weeks ago. I guess we got a lost art promotion of this, which is just like her hood, which is supposed to be symbolic of, I guess, a religious gesture as a nun or something like that. It's kind of a really cheesy alteration, really not very significant. It looks a lot cooler with the hood instead of this like white headband looking thing, but it is what it is. Really cool artwork on this. I'm a huge Atlantean Mermail player, and I usually proc 3 of these between the side deck and the main. I love this card a lot. This card really is just it's great. And again, you know, it's water, so it's kind of, it blends in pretty well. So we're gonna go ahead and look, and this card has always been, I mean, when it first came out, when Dark Deosaur came out, it was relatively expensive because of Hype Pine, you know, the new hand trap girl. Then it eventually started to trickle down. Now it's extremely cheap. I mean, unlimiteds are four bones, and there's 5 pages plus on the market here. Let's see if we can find it. First edition. First editions are gonna be on the 3rd page, starting at not under 8 bones, 7.5, 2 for 7.5 here. And so yeah, I mean, 7.5 is pretty much for at least slightly played. Let's go ahead and take a look at a near mint for you guys who are interested in the near mints. Near mint goes up a little bit more. It's roughly 9.25, so just under 10 bones for the first near mint first edition. Only one of, so it looks like it's definitely a little bit more of a pricier for the first editions. But again, just great all around card. Next is going to be Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring, the most infamous, the most beloved hand trap of all time. Not excluding, not including Maxi, of course. The number 1 slot is always going to go to Maxi. Maxi is, I personally don't think, like White Mexican Logic, I don't think there's ever going to be a hand trap as infamous as Maxi. But Ash Blossom really takes a run for its money against Maxi. There's a lot of different utility behind this card, a lot that I can do. It has amazing artwork, and it's pretty much been the hand trap king, or I guess I should say queen, for the longest time, and I think it will continue to it will continue to. And there's some amazing prints here. Of course, I want to talk about the Maximum Crisis original secret rare for all the reasons I stated above, but honestly, my personal favorite is actually the Shadows in Valhalla super rares. I don't know if you guys have heard my whole theory on hand traps and super rares like Effect Veiler, DD Crow, Ash Blossom, whatever it may be. I really prefer to run my hand traps in super rare because they still look nice, they're still hollow foil, and if they get lightly played when you're dueling, when you're playing games or whatever, it's really not a big deal. You'll never see me playing my first edition Secret Maxis when it gets lifted off the list. It's going to. All you Maxi lovers just like me, I promise you it's coming off the list. White Mexican Theory, everything comes off the list. It's just a matter if Konami decides to rat it or not. And OCG already has, I think Maxi is even lifted off even more than one over there. So definitely coming to a neighborhood near us soon here in the TCG. But anyway, that's all I'm going to say about my whole theory behind hand traps and super rares and just kind of nice cards and rarity. Like, don't get me wrong, I love high rarity stuff, but for the most part, you really, like, a good example is what's it called, Infinite Impermanence. So like, I have Secret Rare Infinite Impermanence first edition, but I'm not gonna play first edition Secret Rare Impermanence. I'm gonna trade, or I'm gonna pick up some ultras. The gold looks really disgusting. I thought the gold would look kind of nice for a while, but the ultras are definitely better. I probably prefer the Dupo first editions. But anyway, that's kind of like an example. You have like a $90 card like first edition Flood Impermanence versus like a $20 Ultra first. I mean, it's kind of just basic math when it comes to me specifically. But again, player preference. One thing I wanted to take of note, the all across the board, this card's been increasing in general, and it's always been really good. The common, the lowest rarity dying on a Soul Burner structure deck is 13 bones. It's insane. I thought and when it hit 10 and maintained 10 for the longest time, this could be an all-time high for this. I never thought it would go higher than 10. And for a while it was like around 8-7, but now it's all the way up to 13. So it just proves the predominance of Ash Blossom. Some incredible stuff here. So I thought that was really cool. Going into the original OG prints here, Dawning out a Maximum Crisis. Let's go ahead and take a look at some price points here. Unlimiteds, near mint, starting market price can be 37 bones. Really would not invest in unlimiteds. I would always go first edition specifically for this for all the different reasons that I've said before. First edition lightly played is going to be 55 bones, and there's a 3-stack here for 55 as well. First near mint is going to be 56, and there's 5 pages here on the market. So really incredible stuff with Ash Blossom, always showing some really great color. Next is going to be Ghost Mourner and Moonlit Chill. I love the name on this, and I really like the moon in this. Definitely not, as far as like the actual monster itself, I really don't think it looks super great. Kind of baggy with the cloaking and all that, but the name is really cool. I really do like the name a lot. The effect, of course, is kind of lackluster. It's definitely not one of the more popular ones to run. I don't even know of anyone that's actually really run this card. But all around, it goes with the Ghost Girl package. It's part of the collectability of the sets of the cards, and you know it is what it is here. So, and then you can see price points reflects. Starting market price is going to be around 18 bones for first edition near mints, all pretty much across the board. Now, this is something interesting. You notice, and when I know that Eternity Code, is not an old set by any means, it just came out relatively new. This is interesting that you see a whole front page of all near mint condition, all first edition. You don't see that very often on TCGP, but it's happening here, and it's pretty much 18, 19, pretty much just under 20 bones all across the board. So there's definitely been a little bit of a price decrease in this. Of course, there is the Starlight Rares drawing from the same set. If you guys are into that, I personally don't really mess with Starlight Rares, so for that purpose, I'm just not going to showcase it. But you guys can definitely just be aware that there is a Starlight Rare if you guys are into collecting Starlight Rares. Raid Raptor Force Strix is going to be next. So wasn't there supposed to be like some major Raid Raptor support that was supposed to come out? I don't remember what set, but people were hyping Raid Raptors. It's so hard to say those names. Anyway, this card was going up. It's kind of gone down to a bit now. It's about 11-ish bones, 12, 13, pretty much all across the board. There's only 3 pages, but just wanted to just push that through really quick. So I've talked about this before. The speed duels. Again, I do not play speed duels. I don't really know much of anything about speed duels. I think it's a really cool idea behind the whole slowing down the game, kind of going back to Gen 1. So if I'm not mistaken, I believe the Battle Steady box, this is a relatively new, actually the newest speed duel product to come out that Konami pushed out. If I'm not mistaken, I believe this is the first secret rare prints in all of the game for speed duels, and they just made some killer selections for the secret rares. This Air Knight Pearshaft for GOAT players and just the old school collector nostalgic value. This was an amazing choice by Konami. We've never had this in secret rare. It looks gorgeous. It looks amazing. It's pretty much 5 bones all across the board, and I think this is a really good pickup. There's some really fat stacks here. You got a 134 here and an 81, pretty much sitting at about 5.5. I do not think this card is going to stay around 5 bones margin for forever. I definitely can see this, maybe not very quickly, being that this product just dropped, but this is an amazing card. There's so much great history behind this, and with being an amazing rarity of secret rare, that is just beautiful. I would definitely get at least a playset of this. The next choice for this is going to be Lost Wind. Now, Lost Wind is definitely part of the more affordable sides for the secrets. Let's see, apparently this is saying that it's out of stock. I really don't think that that's the case. That must be kind of an error. This is like 2 bones or something like that, 2 or 3 bones. Lost Wind's an amazing card. I love this card so much. It's really hard to find room for it depending on what deck you're playing. but the sheer fact that it somewhat recycles and you can play it twice, it's got pretty cool artwork too, and there's so much utility behind this card that's really great, and it's about 3 bones. It's pretty much 3 bones across the board for first edition near mints, 4 pages on the market. So Parashath and Lost Wind are definitely going to be the MVPs. Of course, there's reinforcements of the army. Rhoda, we've never had this printed in secret rare in the TCG. This is one of the most infamous, amazing searcher cards in all of the game. Of course, we got Marauding Captain, the star here. So, really great stuff. It is kind of expensive right now. It's roughly around 9 bones, pretty much across the board for first edition near mints. And there is only 2 pages of this, but this is such a powerful, I mean, it's limited to 1. It's a really great, powerful card. It's a really popular card. Warrior archetypes and decks are all over the place. So I think this is another one of the MVPs from that set. Definitely want to keep an eye on that. Next is going to be Heat Wave. So unfortunately, this isn't a solo print anymore. Speed Duels produced a common, but this is the OG version as a rare, Dawning Odd of Starstrike Blast. This is kind of just one of those really good rare cards that people kind of forget about, but people kind of go back to every once in a while. It definitely has a play in the meta, and it interchanges, and this is just a really good card in general. So I just wanted to shine some light on it because I feel like it needs some attention because it's definitely worth it. And I guess with the reprint, its price point is definitely calmed down because it used to be like a $7, $8, $10 rare all across the board, and we can see it now. It's dwindled all the way down to around 3 bones, even for first edition prints of this. So pretty incredible stuff on that. Next is going to be Snake Rain. So I actually have a misprint of this that actually has the secret rare holofoil in the name, not just the silver lettering, the actual secret blending lettering, which looks really, really cool. Picked it up before I left Texas in a trade, so I was pretty excited about that. I think the pretty sure it's unlimited, unfortunately. So that's the only reason I picked it up was because it was a misprint. I really hardly or pretty much never invest in unlimiteds personally. That's just player preference for me. But this card still to the date, it's extremely old. Tactical Evolution, and not even a single reprint. This is a solo print as a rare, and it's really interesting. There's not really a lot of predominant reptile decks out there. I've never really seen much of any reptile decks rise to predominance for the big games, but this could definitely see some great play utilized, with the right support. It's got amazing artwork too. Like, snakes are super creepy. I hate snakes. Snakes are like one of the most terrifying animals in all of the world for me personally. So pretty cool stuff behind that. And it's pretty much eight bones, pretty much all across the board. 4 pages here on the market. So good stuff with Snake Rain. Next is going to be After Genocide. So this was actually a name change, or this is actually the original name. Really old card, Legacy of Darkness. We're talking about Gen 1, part of the first 13 core sets here, Legacy of Darkness. Really great stuff. As you can see here, has the magic stamps for the majority of them. Obviously, some of the reprints changed after a while when they did the older ones, but the newer ones were going to actually After Struggle. After Struggle was the name that they changed to. This was a name censorship. Genocide was too violent or too dark for Konami and the TCG, so they actually changed it to After Struggle. There's actually a lot of these on the market. This is relatively easy to get. And I just think the history is really cool. The whole history behind the name change is what's pretty cool and what kind of makes this a collector's card, in my opinion. It's not a very heavy, deeply enrooted collector stuff, again, just because there's so many that were manufactured and it's just so cheap and easy to get. I mean, unlimiteds are like nothing. I would definitely only, like always, invest in the first editions, and even the first editions alone, they're pretty much like a half a bone across the board. So I definitely, since these are so cheap and there's a pretty big abundance of them, like here's a 3-stack here, here's a 2-stack, and plenty of pages here to go through. I would definitely stock up on this. I think that this has potential to grow. It may take a long time, but it definitely has potential. Next is going to be Trial of Hell. I don't know if this was another name change, so this was a censorship. It was Trial of Hell first, and then it got reprinted into Trial of Nightmare. I thought that this uncensorship error, or this original name, was only for LB first editions, and we can see here there's only first editions here on the market, at least for TCGP. There's only 2 pages. Starting market price is 11 bones for lightly played, and it quickly trickles up to 13, 14, 15 after that. And So I'm not sure. I really don't know. Maybe there is some unlimiteds. Maybe those are even rare. I've been told that they unlimiteds do exist. They're just even more difficult to find in the first edition, which sounds like really difficult to believe. But who knows? That could be the case. Again, this is another really great collector's card because look at the set name right here. Legend of Blue Eyes White Dragon. We're talking about set 1, Generation 1, set 1. This was the crown jewel of all of the sets. Pretty much anything first edition, even for commons, is going to be great value and pretty much instantly part of the collector's market value. Next is going to be Starter Deck Kaiba Evolution and Yugi. So I talk about this a lot, and I go back and review this because I want you guys to see the timelines and the price changes and the fluctuations in these cards, because as time goes on, I really am an adamant believer that these are going to become part of the collector's market, just like Gen 1, just like Gen 2. And we can already see it in Gen 2, which what I consider the timeline is Gen 1, which is I believe it's 2002 starter decks, Yugi Kaiba, of course, with the Ultra Dark Magician and Blue Eyes. First editions are like ungodly expensive. Then Gen 2, the Structure Deck Reloaded, or the Structure Deck Evolutions, which is these, with the Super Rare Blue Eyes and the Super Rare Dark Magician. And then the Generation 3 being the Reloaded series with the Ultimate Rare Dark Magicians and Blue Eyes, which has been increasing in price of late, which has been pretty great. So really there isn't much of anything in this. Later on in these other tabs, I'm going to show you how much the sealed versions, right here, we can see there's actually, it looks like there's one between 300 and 180. But later on, eBay is kind of my platform of choice for sealed stuff, so I'll go over that really quick in a bit. But Kaiser Seahorse, so this is the highest rarity that we have of this in TCG Player. In TCG, this is actually a really cool card, and these first edition are insanely cheap. And this may sound crazy, but just like, not of course as much as Blue Eyes, but I definitely think that this can potentially become a collector's card as well. Just for the sheer age of this, there's not a lot of prints of this. This is the highest rarity out of this starter deck, and again, first editions are just insanely cheap. So I definitely check that out if you guys want to. But of course, the crown jewel of this product is the Super Rare Blue Eyes White Dragon. Seto Kaiba's trump card here. And I don't like this artwork specifically, but this, again, I can't get away. The Gen 1 series are so expensive and so hold so much value. It's just a matter of time, in my personal opinion, that these and the reloaded stuff, as the reloaded stuff is already starting to go up. And again, because this is going to be for collectability purposes and age and history and all that, you always want to go first edition. I can't emphasize that enough. Unlimiteds are never really going to be anything, in my opinion, specifically for this set. And the first edition is already up to 5 bones. Here's one lightly played for 5 bones. Here's another one. Here's another one. So it's pretty much 5 bones for lightly played first editions all across the board. There's 7 plus pages here on the market for TCGP. And it goes to about roughly almost 7 from Sun Valley Gaming. There's a 5 stack here. So pretty much 5-7 across the board. We have yet to see our near mint. Near mints is when it gets a little bit more interesting. The first near mint is going to be 12 bones. Here's another one for 12, and then it goes to about 14. It continues to just, pretty much bottom out at 15. And then there's one other page on there. So I would definitely keep an eye on this. Again, this card has been insanely cheap for years and years and years and years. And I actually just started talking about this card not too long ago. I want to say maybe about a year ago is when I started investing in these. So next is going to be Starter Deck Yugi. So I guess just the other side parallel of the set. Black Luster Soldier, I'm pretty sure that this is the highest rarity as an ultra from the star deck that we had. So the first editions for these are really inexpensive. I definitely would recommend that you guys pick up on those, because again, this is the highest rarity and the set's extremely old and the first editions are very affordable. So just like Kaiser Seahorse, I would definitely check that out. But the crown gem of this set is always going to be Dark Magician. A little bit cooler artwork on this choice. Again, I do like the original artwork from the Gen 1 starter decks, but these, these are really old and they're getting up there in price too. So really great stuff behind this. This is where you gotta find some first editions. There's 5+ pages here on the market, and we're gonna find our first editions on page 4. and it's 2 bones. Here's one for 2 bones. This is still incredibly affordable. Here's one for 2 for lightly played. Here's one for roughly a little bit over 2 for lightly played. Here's another one for 2. So this even more so than the Blue Eyes. That's kind of how the trending is. The Dark Magician always seems to be a little bit lagging behind in price value from the Blue Eyes. And there's several here for roughly around 2 bones. Unfortunately, they're 1 stacks. There used to be a lot more of fatter stacks where you could bulk this up and buy it in bulk, which is really great. But this is still very, very incredible. I think it's insane that this card is only $2. Now, granted, they are lightly played, but they are still first edition prints and very much well on their way to the collector's market, in my personal opinion. Here's another one for 2. I haven't seen any near mints yet, so I'm really interested to see what the price fluctuation is going to be for the first edition near mints. 9 pages here on the market. And then it gets to about the 5 range. And there's really, I have not seen it in near mint. It doesn't look like there's a single near mint first edition on TCGP right now, so that's very, very interesting. Obviously, there's plenty of availability on the lightly playeds. The bus has not left the station for that. I would definitely pick up on these lightly played first editions. 2 bones is a steal for this card. I personally think that out of everything that I mentioned in this video, this is like the MVP. Picking up a first edition Starter Deck Evolution, Yugi Evolution, first edition lightly played is just gold. You guys need to get on that. I promise you it's going to be worth it in the end. Alright, so really quick, just to do some flash price review for the sealed decks themselves. Here I'm on eBay. We can see we're on shipping lowest to highest. We see our first sealed first edition again. Now, Grant, remember this is first edition, has to be first edition. Is roughly around 325, and then it goes to 400 and 500. So these are insanely collectible things. You know, insanely old, really hard to get. So, and this is what I'm talking about. These $2 first edition Dark Magicians, and what was the price point for the Blue Eyes? Was it like 5? I can't remember. Anyway, this is the stuff that is in here. This is what the product holds. So really good stuff. I definitely I think it's really worth it. The Kaiba starter deck was a little bit more difficult to find. Here is one that is, I mean, it's on bid, but you know, the buy it now is $350. So an insanely fat price tag there. And that was really the only one I could find. Here, I guess, is this one? I don't think this one's first edition. So anyway, ungodly expensive and pretty good stuff there for structured stuff. I'm an avid fan for structure deck, collecting structure deck sealed, first edition exclusively sealed. I did it with Soul Burner, which has been paying off. Well, technically, it hasn't paid off because I have them at home. I have them sealed. I haven't cracked them open. I'm not selling the $13 common Ash Blossoms from Soul Burner. I'm keeping them still sealed, just out of having some collectability for some sealed stuff. But I did that with Shaddoll Showdown and Soul Burner, were the latest 2 structure decks that I invested in relatively heavily. And this is what I do when a structure deck comes out, and I think it's really really popular, and like a lot of fans, a lot of players are gonna like it. I'll whip it out on here on eBay, buy a couple cases, like the 8 deck boxes, and first edition exclusively, and just hold them. And statistically speaking, if you look over trending, like all structure decks just continue to go up over time as they get older, as they go away, they're not manufactured anymore, and then it's crazy. And then some stuff, if you're lucky, like Zombie Horde over here, the for a while it went back down, but I forget the Field Searcher Girl and Balroach, and there's a lot of stuff that was worth really good value that equaled out even more to the 10 bones from the original start point. This obviously has Ash Blossom, so that's over a $10 bone card now, and it's always fluctuating. So, and right now, even like alone, we can see here again, the first edition sealed is about 26. Again, these were like 9, 8. When you buy them on bulk right when it comes out, you can even get some deals where you are not even paying 10 bones per deck when you're buying boxes of these. So pretty great stuff. So Soul Burner was a really good one. And of course, Zombie Horde, there's kind of been an influx. There's a lot of different builds with like Eldritch and stuff coming out and being a really big popular engine. Some people have been teching in the Horde engine, using that, and there's just Balroach is just such an amazing card. I'm personally playing zombies. I really love Shaddolls. I was playing Shaddolls for several months, and now I just switched over to zombies because I think it's just a really amazing engine. And it's really fun to play, and it's really simplistic. It's very, you kind of always know what you're gonna do. You know your combos. Very simplistic, and that's kind of me. I'm not like a super crazy complex player. I don't like all these crazy heavy combo stuff. But anyway, this alone, I mean, the first one here is 34, 35 bones, and then it quickly jumps to 70, and then just keeps on going up for that after that. So I really regret, this was the structure deck that kind of got away. I was literally had this in my cart on eBay. I was gonna buy a couple cases, but then I just decided not to for some whatever reason. I'm really kicking myself in the butt about that because it's definitely a great investment. One thing that I actually didn't buy cases of because at the time I kind of got on this really late. It had already been out for a couple weeks and there really wasn't any available online to buy in bulk of cases. So I was in El Paso, Texas at the time. It was right before I was transitioning out of the military, and I was literally driving around to every Target, every Walmart, and picking up these like like crazy. I was going in the PX and the BX, and it was insane. Like I was like a madman going through all these stores, just buying these out like crazy. And I'm pretty sure I have probably the amount to about 3 or 4 cases of these. Obviously, they're loose because of the stores that I got them at, but they are sealed and first edition. I keep them in a box, keep them nice and preserved. More specifically, behind this, my whole reason behind this, Shaddolls, again, just like Burning Abyss, just like Satella Knights, there's a lot of really big player base out there that really love Shaddolls. Shaddolls is a really splashable engine. I personally love it myself, so a lot of meaning and special value behind that. This is the only product that we get the alternative versions of Winda and Construct, which is really cool. I don't know if Konami's ever going to reproduce those in higher rarities or as commons or whatever, but still to the day, the only product that we can get the alternate artwork of those two powerhouse fusions, which look amazing. Granted, they're only ultra rares, but then again, this is the only set that you're going to be able to get those specific artworks. So pretty much 20 bones. It's already, it's been, I think it was like summertime. Yeah, summertime of 2019 was roughly around when this came out. So it's been a little bit over a half year now. It's already doubled in price value here. We can see it's pretty much 20 bones across the board for the sealed first edition. So really happy that I invested on that. I hope you guys, here's a case. Here's a case for 100. So a case comes with 8. So this is actually a really good deal, and this is the last one too. So I mean that makes sense that this is the last one. 6 watchers. You guys might want to get on this. Really great stuff. But that's how you guys do it. I have social media. Facebook is going to be below the link. You guys can add me. I would love to hear from each and every one of you guys. Yu-Gi-Oh! Has been part of my life for almost 2 decades. I'm really compassionate about this game. I love the brotherhood, the friendship, the trading, the investment aspects. There's so many amazing things, a lot of positive things that this game can bring to you if you just let it. I hope you guys are making some fantastic Yu-Gi-Oh! Investments yourself. This has been a showcasing by The White Mexican, and I will see you in the next video.